see a movie that does Venom justice, this is not it. Apparently it does not exist. Because Venom in this was very out of character. It was a very almost like a buddy cop movie with the way the symbiote and Eddie Brock worked. Eddie Brock first was very out of character to begin with. He was selfish, but that was about it. But he wasn't even you liked the guy, which was weird to me because Eddie Brock you're not supposed to like. The only reason you find him acceptable is because he's Billy Badass. The symbiote was just weird. I felt like he was very jokey, which was weird. In the comics, when they first showed the symbiote, it's very instinctual. It reacts. It doesn't really conversate. And overall, the acting was just very stiff. It felt like the chick who played Anne was just very mechanical. There was no, you could not. It didn't feel like they were in a relationship for years and they were about to be engaged. It was just very dry. So I'm giving this movie a 1.5 because the only saving grace is that kind of final fight scene, but I wish it was not super dark because you couldn't really see anything.
Me and Angel are probably only the ones to really rip it apart. Venom is trash. It is absolutely trash. The pacing was off, the script was terrible, the acting was terrible. They blew the load on 95%. 95% of the fucking budget was done from the last fight scene. Other symbiotes are mentioned, but just disappeared with nothing. Except we get Carnage later, which everybody already knows. Which is, I was a 2 until I saw that shit at the end, and I dropped it to the 1. And I'm not gonna spoil it because what's the fucking spoil? I dropped it to a 1 after seeing that because this movie is just it had so much potential. I went in really wanting to do it. I love Carnage. I love the Venom series, and just it wasn't there. I wish Tom Hardy did a little bit better. It's just it seemed like he wanted it to go the way that he really wanted it to go, but it felt off. The character relationships were nothing. The villain was nothing to me. It was just it was all just too wooden. Yeah, so that's a 1.
I'm gonna be one of the ones that actually liked the movie. I mean, granted, there were some story plots, you're just sitting there going, oh man, what's going on here? You got the blue one dying, the yellow one dying, but anyway, it doesn't really fucking matter anymore because we're watching a Spider-Man movie. This is not Spider-Man, it's Venom. But anyway, hands down, Tom Hardy as an anti-hero works out, but this movie just doesn't work out entirely. It's not needed. I mean, honestly, like Curtis said, would I see it again? Probably not, because it's PG-13, it's crap. I mean, it's aimed at kids. Who cares? It should be rated R. That's all I'm gonna say. With that, Venom, 2.5.
We don't let our colleagues enjoy the movie. We would think that it was a very fun time. It was a good adaptation of our character. We would also say that in the end, it was a fun ride. Tom Hardy did an excellent performance. I would agree that yes, it's better than Topher Grace, but on top of that, we also thought that there are fan service moments in here involving his wife, involving the other symbiotes. One thing that wasn't mentioned is when they have Jameson as the first person who gets the initial oaths. It's not comic accurate, but they did acknowledge that top of the hat that, hey, this happens in this universe. This film didn't necessarily need Spider-Man to be in it in order to get the Eddie Brock character. I will say that, because Eddie Brock's character, if you know from the comic, is this broken down, his life sucks, even from the beginning of the end to his arc when he dies in the comic, it's just suffering, pain, and torture, and we think that they nailed it spot on. We also think that the dialogue was spot on, the eating heads, the talking to himself was nailed directly how it was in the comic, and we also think that it is better than Spider-Man 3. So with that being said, you're going to give Venom a 3 out of 4 stars.
Doesn't have to be well thought out. It's simple. One, it's the first movie you could probably fully understand any word that comes out of Tom Hardy's mouth, because normally you can't understand a single thing out of his mouth. The movie is very weird. Weird would be the best way to describe it to me, because it's a bunch of pieces cobbled together with no real thought put into it, so that it's not a movie that, compared to the Marvel movies, where you go, oh my god, I can't believe this, I can't believe that. It's very generic. It's very generic for what it could be. It should be better than what it is. As said, it's a lot of stiff performances. The chemistry between Michelle Williams and Tom Hardy is actually really bad. The first post-credit scene, kind of a disappointment in the build-up of what it could be. The Into the Spider-Verse 5-minute or whatever post-credit was actually really good and has me really excited for that. So much so that I forgot about the movie that we just watched. 2.5.
I just felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be, and usually when movies get bad reviews beforehand, I try to ignore it, go in with an open mind. But for some reason, I just had a feeling like this wasn't going to be that good, and I don't know what's it 4 against 2 here that like it. I don't know, but I think once Hardy fully turns into Venom, it gets good. It starts to kick up a bit. I wish that came like sooner. Little side note, I like the soundtrack, the end, Eminem. I thought the one part that no one really said was like the part where he loses his job and then his wife just like dumps him. Like that happened way too quick and there was like no emotional factor whatsoever in that. I was just like, wow, like that was fast. And then like you could tell a lot of the scenes they cut to get the PG-13 rating. There were so many fight scenes where Venom's about to like rip someone's head off or put his arm through someone and then the camera pulls out and you can't see what's going on and there's like a fog, and I think it would have been better. They could have went more all out if it was rated R. I think it's a step up from Spider-Man 3 a little bit. As Venom himself, I'm going to pick Tom Hardy over Topher Grace any day of the week. 2 out of 4.